Murray's going to throw it to the end zone, up in the air, and intercepted! It is Jaden Daniels, end zone, it is caught for the touchdown! Zachert!
Another season of needing stuff to happen, and us, of course, winning our game so we can make the playoffs. You maybe call me a bad fan or something, but if you need a domino effect of stuff to happen just to make the playoffs, I don't think you deserve to make the playoffs. Also, losing to the Giants in 2024, you don't deserve the playoffs after that either, especially losing on a blocked field goal and because Daniel Jones carved up your defense. That's a big yikes right there. You can't call yourself a legit team and lose to the Giants at home. That's not really how it works. Not in this NFL, no. You lose to a bad team and it could just derail your whole season. Kind of what it felt like for us for a little bit. Starting 3-0. People saying oh, we're not complete legit, and then we go to Detroit and then we lose. Not going to make the injury excuse because I never do that. If you're really a good team, you got to play with what you got. You got to find a way to win like that. Same with blaming referees for stuff. Play around that. You can't just blame the four zebra guys for how you lose games. Sure, one call could determine a game. Yes, I'll give you that. But if you're saying oh, something in the second quarter or the first drive or something lost you the game, shut up. No, it didn't. You gotta work around that. You gotta play better. Wins aren't just gifted to you. You have to play around and just fight through all that stuff that could happen to you throughout games. That's what the real good teams are in the NFL. And unfortunately, it wasn't for Seattle once again this year. Season, regular season ain't even over yet, but I feel like I wanted to just make this and get it over with because we have nothing to play for anymore besides maybe a good draft pick if we lose to the Rams, which we probably will even if they put in their backups because we just suck against the Rams. It's how it's always really been. We're 27-27 in the series. Yeah, probably going to be 27-28. Could give them the 2017 Browns roster and we'd probably lose to that. 08 Lions would probably lose to that. Because that's the type of team we are. We always play down to our opponents. That's what showed in the Giants game. That's what almost showed in the Jets game. That's pretty much what showed in the Bears game. What the hell even was that? There's a lot of things that you could say are wrong with how this year went. I'm starting with saying this about John Schneider. I'll have a picture of it somewhere on here, but guards are overpaid, that's why you don't want them or something? Are you kidding me? You saw how Laken Tomlinson and Anthony Bradford played this year, man. Yep, guards are overdrafted and overpaid according to John Schneider. Yeah. If you go into the offseason with that same mindset, you better be gone after next season or after this draft. Something like that. We can't take it anymore from you. Yes, drafting has saved your career for the past few years. That Ernest Jones trade, that saved your John Schneider. But when it comes to free agency, dude, I would trust a newborn to make decisions for free agency over you. You signed, the first real free agent you signed, not re-signing people, was Pharaoh Brown. Can anyone, not a Seattle fan, tell me who that is? Because I guarantee you can't. He had one good play all season long. One. Other than that, He's a holding merchant, just a flag merchant in general. He just drops passes when they're given to him. And he let a 4th-round tight end outplay his. And we were told, oh, he's a good run blocker by New England fans. I didn't see it really this year. Might just be me. I didn't see it much this year, but yeah, great signing. And then we signed Nick Harris, former Browns center, and we traded him back to the Browns after like one preseason game. Signed Connor Williams. I will give John the benefit of the doubt because no one thought he would be that bad, but he was really bad for us. Dude loved just lubing the ball up with Diddy's baby oil before hiking that mofo. Costed us a few drives, costed us the offense pretty much. His run blocking was just bad as all hell at most times. And I'm pretty sure the fan base made him retire because they would not stop bullying him. I obviously don't condone that, but I don't know. You just got, if you don't want people to ream out at you, you can't play horribly like that, okay? And then quitting on your team like that, unless it was like a family emergency. If it's something like that, I get it. But if it's like, oh, I just can't do it anymore. This fan base is really hurting my feelings and stuff. Really? No, dude. Who else the hell did we signed? Terrell Dodson. Couldn't tackle worth a shit. Now look at Jerome Baker. He couldn't run block to save his life. But we turned to Jerome Baker and Ernest Jones. So that saved John Schneider. But those two didn't even last half a season with the. Well, I think Jerome lasted half a season, or at least almost. But Terrell Dodson, I'm pretty sure he lasted like 10 games with us, and then we gave him the boot. One thing I love about Mike McDonald, he doesn't screw around. He's not like the Pete Carroll, and he's just giving players second chances. Like, no, he wants to win now, and if he ain't winning with you, you're getting the boot, you're getting benched, you're going to another team, buddy. That's the kind of coach I would aspire to want to have on my favorite sports team. He knows what's right for the team, and he knows what he can do to win. And he turned this horrible defense in the first half of the season to like a top unit in the second half. It took swapping our linebackers out. Went from Terrell Dodson and Jerome Baker to Ernest Jones, Tyrese Knight, and I guess Boye Mafe if you want to call him a linebacker. But whatever was said at that bye week, it worked. It really worked. I don't have the exact stats, but if you just go back and watch games after the bye week, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this defense really flipped a switch. And next thing is like, it's Geno and the offense. Look, if you don't have a good O-line, you're not going to succeed on offense. Everyone knows that. Everyone should know that at least. Everyone knows that except if your name is John Schneider. Every fucking year, this toad just waits. Lets all the good linemen in free agency get signed so he can sign people like Evan Brown, Laken Tomlinson, BJ Finney, Brandon Shell, Cedric Ogbuehi, Tremaine Antrim, those people, those kinds of people. And then he wonders why the O-line sucks every year. If you don't want to get it better, John, why don't you suit up and play O-line? You got good dimensions for that. You're just a little short, but you know you're a little wide, so I think you'd fit well in our offensive line. And then the play calling, especially when we're in the red zone and let's just say, oh, the pass is working very well to start the game. Ryan Grubb was just like, yeah, let's just run it for 2 straight drives. Yeah, that worked, buddy. I don't get what the issue was. Like, the second we got inside the 20, we barely scored touchdowns. Unless it was Charbonnet goal line touchdowns, which you got a lot of this year. And then, yeah, like I was saying about just, like, abandoning what works. I would understand if you had the mindset of, like, oh, this has been working very well. The defense is just going to plan against this. But when you completely just abandon it, like, we were running the ball really well to start in that Bears game last week. And then Grubb just, what is running the football for, like, the rest of the game? We had, like, 12 runs in the whole second half. It was ugly. And then Geno, he's a big topic. Is he good? Is he bad? Do we want him back? Do we cut him and get $30 million in cap space? I don't know. Really don't know. I would say if he took like a big pay cut, because he's not a franchise quarterback for a long term. He's like 1 year younger than Russell Wilson, and Russ is like 36 or something like that. If he took a pay cut and then we signed like Justin Fields or something, or drafted someone like Jackson Dart or one of those other quarterbacks, that would probably only be left for us, because all the good ones are going to be gone in the top 10, which are like 2 good quarterbacks in this whole draft, as of now at least. I mean, I'm not a Geno hater. I appreciate Geno Smith, but sometimes it's really hard to defend him. Especially like when you throw a 103-yard pick six instead of throwing it out of bounds in the Rams game. Or when you take the dumbest sacks ever instead of throwing the ball away. You'd rather take a 10-yard loss on like second down and make it 3rd and 15 and we do a 3-yard run or something, opposed to throwing the pigskin away without getting a grounding flag. Something I don't like about him. I will say, though, he has a great arm. He obviously wants what's best for the team and tries playing through whatever's thrown at him. Played through the knee injury that he got against the Packers. But like I said, it's tricky to think about what to do with him after all this. I don't know. I think we keep him for another year or two. Obviously get someone else in the building that he could try to mentor. You can learn from Geno Smith. Geno Smith isn't terrible. There's just times where he looks like he's back in his Jets days, but he was consistent as all hell throughout this season, being top 5 in passing. He led the league in passing for a good chunk of the season, which mainly because our rushing offense was terrible, because our run blocking can't provide holes for our running backs. It's a big factor as well as to why we're not successful on offense most of the time, and why teams can just sniff us out and just commit to pass every time, because our O-line gets bull rushed every time we want to run the ball. They just get dragged back. They get pushed back. Even if they're rushing 3, 2, they could rush. The defense can rush one person, and we still couldn't run block. And the dude would just manhandle our offensive line, and we get a 4-yard loss from it. Another thing. Injuries. I said earlier, I don't make those excuses. Why? Because I feel like that's pity. It's a good argument, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying completely that it's like, it's a wrong thing to like say, hey, we're injured. But like when you constantly just say that, like people are gonna think you're just, I don't know. But yeah, injuries do suck. There's a few games this year where probably could have won if we didn't have the injuries, but we didn't win, so we can't stop talking about it like that. Like the what ifs, like what happened on the field happened. You can't think you're in the right with hypotheticals or just what ifs and all that stuff. It doesn't work. Like people aren't gonna be like, oh yeah, you're right. We didn't win that game because they're hypotheticals. No, that's not how it works. If that is how it worked, we probably would have went winless or undefeated if you based our season off of hypotheticals like that. Same with ref blaming. What else? What else we got? Oh, do we give Ryan Grubb another chance? The argument is that he's a first-year offensive coordinator, but, I'm like in the middle of that. Like, I think he does know what he's doing at most times, but I've already said, like, when he gives up on what's working in his red zone offense, that's going to be, like, why fans would want him to leave. Or at least the fans that actually show up to games. No, that's another thing. That's a really heated topic, though, in this fan base. There's people on the side that are like, oh, if you're a season ticket holder, you should go to the games. You have the tickets. You signed up for them for a reason. Go to the games. That's the side I'm on. Then you have the other side that's like, oh, if they don't put on like good product or something on the field, why should we go? Why should we waste all that time? I get what you're going for there, but if you're going to not go to the games, stop being greedy and selling the tickets to the opposing fan bases. Lumen used to be one of the most scary places to play because of this fan base. Now, it's not anymore because of that. That alone. Sell the tickets to other 12s that want to go to the games. Okay? Give them a little hometown discount. Or just stop getting season tickets and doing crap like that. Call me soft, but I think you should be banned if you do that from going to the games. Like, you're just like, there's people out there that want the season tickets, but they can't get it because of selfish like you. Yeah. I mean that. Like, I get prices of stuff is like ridiculous now, like parking. Yeah. Food. Yeah. Like everything else involving going to the game, which is already expensive enough. Yeah. It won't change because Seattle's a rich city. Okay? I get it. You have a good argument there. But I'm sticking to what I believe in, what I've already just said about a minute or two ago. Probably won't change either. I don't care if you think I'm wrong or not. Like, this offseason, I probably said this last year as well, but like, this offseason, something needs to happen. Some big splashy signing, trade, anything needs to happen. And we're probably going to be stuck with the 17th, 18th pick, some crappy pick because we've just been mid the last 2, 3, 4 years. Like, we're just stuck in the middle of the draft order. We're never too good to have a late pick. We're never too bad to have an early pick. We're just stuck in the teens. We're stuck between like 14 and 19. Sometimes the early 20s. Like, I really want this guard from Bama named Tyler Booker. I've done something that I've never done before, and I've watched film on him. Crazy, I know. But, dude, this guy, when it comes to run blocking, like, I'm going to put a link to a video that I keep going back and watching of him. I'm going to put it in the comments. I'm going to pin it. Please go watch it, and you'll understand why I want this guy. He can play guard and tackle, and we need both of those, especially if Lucas is just gonna still be hurt, and George Fant's always hurt, and Stone Forsythe, I feel disgusted even saying that name. Never let him start a game in the NFL ever again. No, I don't want to talk about him. But yeah. What do we even have to do from here? Like, we obviously need line. We need O-line. I'd go for another corner, because I'm not a Trey Brown fan. I'm certainly not a Josh Jobe fan. No. Dude, the first game that he played against the Falcons, fans were already sucking him off because, like, he had a good game. And then he got a pick on Josh Allen in the Bills game, and fans were like, oh my god, he's like the next Sherman or something. He's the next Dion. He's the next great corner. And then he got torched for like the next 3 straight games. And I was like, I told you, I tried telling you all, this guy's not good. He makes one flashy play a game, and nothing else. Gets toasted for the rest of the game. And then Trey Brown, on the other hand, go watch his game against the Giants. That's not what made me hate him, but that's when I was like, I'm done with him. Nail in the coffin. Done with you. He was good in 2021, his rookie season, before he snapped his ankle or something, and was done for the rest of the season. He's never been the same after that. It could be from the injury, but when you get burnt by Darius Slayton, you're not going to have a fan base, bro. And he's had other bad games before that, too. It's just, I believe in McDonald. I think he can really fix this entire defense all around if he's given a good team to do that with John Schneider. Okay? Can you do that? Can John Schneider have one good free agency period? That's all we're asking for. No, he won't give it to us. You could give him a list of the 50 best players in free agency. He'll look through that list and sign the 39,000th player or something. No. He'd sign like the 68th best player on that list. You know, he'll go to the way end of it and just sign the bottom 10 players from that. That's practically what he does. Like, I truly believe a lot of these Seattle pages on Instagram could be a better GM of this team than John Schneider. And no, I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. They know what they're doing. They're really smart people, and most of them are like the same age I am. You know, it's scary on how smart they actually are and how they would actually turn this team around, and John Schneider can't do shit about it. Like, John, can you just think free agency's also like the draft and just go all out? Like, we want like Trey Smith or something. I would love Trey Smith. I'd love Quentin Nelson. I would love, I do like Rayshon Jenkins, but I think we need another safety up there. You know, Kobe Bryant, he's excellent. Him as a corner, no. Him as a safety, elite. Give Kayvon Wallace another chance as well. I love that guy's energy on the field. But when it comes to starting safeties, I'm not sure about Rayshawn. I say let him play out his contract, but if the Starks guy, I don't know his first name well. I think it's Malarkey or something. It starts with an M. You know what I'm talking about. The safety from Georgia. If he's there and Tyler Booker's not there at our first pick, take him and run with it. Because he's definitely not going to be at our pick, but he will be a top player overall in this draft, even before the combine. And then, not saying I want this to happen, but you probably already know where I'm coming at with this. This day will hurt me more than Russell Wilson being traded when Tyler Lockett retires, or if he gets cut or something. I think I'd rather have him retire than him get cut or go to another team. No. I won't blame him if he retires either, because he's already have another job lined up from a real estate agent. No, he's got a family as well, and he's preserving his brain health. That's why he goes down after every play. I don't get why people also hate on him for that. You're hating on a man for trying to not go the Antonio Brown route if he gets hit. What's wrong with that? Oh, football's a physical sport. You can barely even tackle anymore as it is, so I don't see the issue about it. Lockett's playing smart. The 2 extra yards aren't worth it. Just get the first down, and who gives a what he does after that. He could catch for a first down and then immediately go down. I really don't see the issue with that. He's doing his job. And plus, when he broke his leg in 2016, that's a big thing on why he doesn't want to get tackled as much, because he doesn't want to have another injury like that. No one ever does. And plus, he's 32 or something. His body, he won't be able to really take those hits like that anymore. So, shut up. What did Lockett ever do to you, man? If you talk down about Tyler Lockett, what the f*** do you want? Seriously. He's one of the nicest people ever to play for the Seahawks. He's one of the best players ever in Seattle history. I would say he's the 4th best receiver in Seahawks history. I don't think that's wrong to say. He might be the 3rd best. For me, it's Steve Largent, Joey Galloway, Doug Baldwin, and then Tyler Lockett. If I'm missing some other people, sue me, I guess. I've been watching football for 5-6 years, I think, now. I don't know, since 2018. I can't count worth of shit. But yeah, just leave Lockett alone. Who cares? And then, I love DK a lot. But I can't defend him sometimes either. When it comes to catching a football, I know I'm the furthest thing from an NFL receiver. I was a receiver converted to O-line because I'm so damn slow. The first year I played football. But I know not to catch with my chest and catch with my hands. He tried catching with his chest a lot this year. DK, hands, not chest, moron. And then, I know he didn't really do it a lot this year, but just the fighting thing. Look, I get football is an emotional sport, and I get you'll never stop doing it because you're passionate about your game. But dude, you've costed yourself games, your team games sometimes from it. You're costing yourself just money, respect. I mean, you probably don't give a shit about that. You're making yourself look more like a every time you do it. You're making yourself look like an absolute man-child every time you do it. Dude, grown man doing that, by the way. That's what I gotta say.